That is coming up. I also want to get to the White House press dinner and some of the incredibly arrogant Orwellian statements from Barack Hussein Obama, real name Barry Soetoro, Indonesian citizen. Forget the Kenyan thing. You got his wife admitting he's from Kenya in a speech, and you've got the fake birth certificate. But we know he became an Indonesian citizen. We know his name's Barry Soetoro, and he made jokes about that, too, so that's coming up. But right now, let's go to your phone calls. Let's talk to Lex in Ohio. Lex, go ahead.
Thank you. James Traficant was by far the best guest, at least this last interview. It's the best interview I've heard on your show in 18 months of being a fan. Thank you so much. Get this guy a weekly spot or get him his own GCN show or something. But Ohioans love James Traficant, and I know the truther scene is going to start loving this guy too. I also want to say that I'm not a TV watcher, but last night I went to my buddy's house and I watched the new episode of The Simpsons, and it was about having a British-style surveillance system in the city of Springfield.
Burns told me the government with Mr. Burns, who's supposedly like David Rockefeller, plants uranium on Homer to claim terrorists are going to attack so they can set up a police state and loot the pension funds.
Absolutely. I mean, it was so poignant, and it fits in really well. So I encourage people to go to the evil Hulu.com. It's on there, and you can see it today.
But expanding on that, 6 months before 9/11, Fox TV, same folks that run The Simpsons, ran a lone gunman episode, and I've talked to the people on the show, Dean Haglund and others. The CIA came to them, planted that storyline that the government hijacks a passenger jet by remote control to fly it in the World Trade Center, to blame it on Afghanistan, and to set up a police state in the United States, and the government uses drills of the exact same thing happening, so NORAD stands down. So it's just like Obama saying, yeah, at least my ratings are as high as the place of my birth or are high in Kenya. That's why he said, all these jokes are paid for by Goldman Sachs, whether you like it or not. They're making money whether you laugh or not. Some Republicans have suggested the health care bill contained a few secret provisions. That's untrue. There are hundreds. That's actually true. See, criminals love to brag. They love to tell you, we're going to do this on 9/11. They love to tell you, we're going to set off a dirty bomb and blame it on Homer Simpson, a.k.a. the Tea Party. They love flaunting it as like a psychological preconditioner. Go ahead, Lex.
Well, I agree with you totally. I mean, it does seem like they're planting seeds. If you'll let me be cerebral for just a split second, though, the subplot to the story is about how Lisa, no one believes her because she has blonde hair, so she dyes her hair brown, and suddenly everyone agrees with her opinions. And I think that's kind of a tell about where people put their faith, especially in terms of media outlets or information, whether it comes from the government or from different media outlets. I thought that was a really brilliant kind of subtext to the whole episode. I don't know if that'll be lost on most people. So I do think you're right that they are planting seeds, but at the same time, I think that there's maybe kind of a little more, a push to say, hey, if you're really paying attention, we're telling you what's going on. The last thing I want to ask you, Alex, and this is just playing devil's advocate, but when we see those people that are supposedly illegal threatening violence and things like that, is there a chance that those people are COINTELPRO, that they're plants? I got my verbal militia buddies on the line here. We're all chatting while we're on, and just kind of want to know what you think about.
I appreciate your call, but to even try to describe why I don't believe that's the case, hundreds of pieces of data go into my statement that this is real. If these were provocateur actions of the illegals, burning down buildings, knocking out the windows of 20-plus facilities, they said 18, now it's 20, running around with signs saying we're going to kill police, running around with pickaxes saying we're going to kill you. If that was provocateur, they'd have people, what are we going to do, America? And they'd have a solution, naked body scanners or kicking the illegals out. There's almost a complete news blackout. When something's staged, you see the PR frenzy that comes immediately when it happens. I mean, I knew the underwear bombing was staged because 10 minutes after it was announced on the news, they were saying, don't worry, we've now ordered naked body scanners. I knew they'd ordered them a year before. Then it came out, witnesses on the plane said they helped him get on the plane. He was protected, and the U.S. government admitted, okay, it was part of, some secret thing. We ordered him to be allowed on. And then the evidence goes on from there. We cover it in my new police state film, The Rise of FEMA. This woman saying, I got pickaxes, I'm going to kill you. If she is a provocateur, she is going to win the Academy Award. No, I've been around it. I've seen it. I understand it. And so, no, there could be provocateur in the future, but the globalists want the illegals here. They want to bankrupt the states. They want an outside voting bloc. So they're not covering it. It's the cover-up that tells you it's real. You know, we've had real terror attacks in America. We've had hundreds of them. Back in the 60s and 70s, there were hundreds of real communist bombings that would be in the news but the back of the paper. And U.S. policy was, we don't give attention to terrorism. And any mainline media reporter, you know, people that have been in the news for 30, 40 years, they'll tell you that was the rule. You report it, but you don't fearmonger, and you don't give it a lot of attention. Because that then makes real terrorist attack more if that's their aim. See, the terrorists want the media attention. So when it's a government-staged terror attack, they're going to hype it because they're the terrorist. You have to understand the psychology of this. But again, no, this is real. In fact, I had Watson post my film, Battle for the Republic, a mini film that was part of Endgame. It's the extras, or one of the extras. And, I mean, you could see illegals with police beating citizens up. I mean, they're with the police. They're with the government. I showed you a headline earlier out of Tennessee where they got $105,000 from illegal aliens, drug money, and just let it go. In fact, will you guys pull that up? Because I can't find it. Got too many articles in here. See, I said I'd go to your calls, and I'm not even going to have time to if I don't shut up. Where is it? Pull up that headline that we printed an hour ago out of the Knoxville News. Where they just let the illegals go. The illegal aliens are above the law. We'll put that on screen for people, and I'll give you the actual headline. Deputy sees $105,000 after Mexicans deny cash was theirs, and they just let them go. See, if that was a citizen, your life would be over. If citizens would have set fires in Santa Cruz in front of the police and been running around, there weren't any riot police there for their illegal alien rally, which was announced a week before, because it's politically incorrect to have police for them. But you got sound cannons and plenty of cops for the American people. I'm sick of being discriminated against. Whether you're Hispanic, black, white, it doesn't matter. The New World Order is for open borders. We have the SPP documents. We have got to expose this now. Ruth in Louisiana, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, Alex, how you doing? You know, I have a suggestion. We need to call and email CNN, Fox, other news organizations, Washington, Schwarzenegger's office, Governor Schwarzenegger, but anyway, and demand why the police are not arresting these violent protesters. You know, they arrested at G20 non-violent protesters, but we are not doing anything to arrest these violent protesters. If I had a sign like that walking down my street in Louisiana, I'd be under the jail.
I hear you, and here's the article on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com that everybody's got to get. In fact, if you go to PrisonPlanet.com, it's got the full headline that's particularly power-packed to get people to read it because it states, you know, what actually happened. I'm trying to find the article. Here it is. Corporate media plays down pro-illegal immigration thugs who terrorize Santa Cruz. Imagine the national uproar if 200 Tea Partiers had gone on a rampage with burning torches. I mean, in fact, that should be the headline. Illegal aliens with burning torches set fire to Santa Cruz. But again, if Tea Party people would have lit their cigarette wrong and it had fallen on the ground and there'd have been 1 foot area of grass burned, there'd be air raid sirens and police crying, and we got to take everybody's rights. We got to ban butane tanks. We got to ban, you know, natural gas. We got to ban gasoline tanks because somebody might make a bomb with it. They're calling for that in New York. Well, it's all over, my God. Tea parties are evil. They're terrorists. They're going to murder everyone. Meanwhile, illegal aliens are beating people up in San Francisco. Firebombing attacks in restaurants full of people in Santa Cruz, beating up police in front of everyone, running around in Phoenix with signs saying we're going to kill police, attacking police. I mean, we're going to kill you with pickaxes. And the media's like, I have an ABC news piece out of Santa Cruz where they talk to people, and the people go, I think it's reasonable. They have a lot of reasons to be angry. I kind of like firebombing and groceries. You know, I mean, it's just off the charts, the mind control of this. I mean, this is what's so insane. The government keeps saying people that want to audit the banks and people that don't want the banker bailouts are terrorists. And then meanwhile, anybody who's actually violent, isn't anyone asking why this attempted bombing in New York happened on Commie Day? Because communists don't exist, the media says. There's no such thing as it. We just have a... I'm sorry, anything else, Ruth?
Well, I tell you one thing. It just saddens me that this oil spill that, they have not done anything about, and their solution is, just unboggling of what they want to do to sink the oil to the bottom. It's just going to devastate Louisiana.
Well,
we had 3 major hurricanes.
Well, ma'am, I know we're praying for you, and hopefully the National Guard can do something. But guess what the news we have coming up in the financial section towards the end of the hour? I was asking Greg Palast of the BBC about a false flag attack. Notice this happened the day before Earth Day. The response wasn't big, as it should have been. BP is one of the most globalist organizations out there. So is Halliburton. Just like they shorted the airline stocks the week before 9/11 at record levels, American and United. They didn't short all airline stocks. They shorted just those two.